Hey guys, it's Al with Techmadeezy. 2 days before Thanksgiving, and I found this mower and I grabbed it. This is the brand new Honda battery mower. And by the way, you are looking at the top of the line consumer mower. Anything better than this is the commercial model coming out soon. It's not out yet. Now these start at about $899 with a steel deck, but I wanted that Nexite deck. This takes 24 amp hours of batteries. That's right. I mean, you can put an 8 amp hour, a 12 amp hour, you can put two 12 amp hours. Now, I got to tell you, this is an unboxing video. It's a close look. I'm going to give you all the specs, but guess what? Because my lawn is a little green, I went ahead and did a little bit of cutting. I wanted to at least do a demo and give you a first impression. So why don't we go ahead and check this out? Let's get this party started. Well, there she is. Let's go ahead and get this unboxed. Before we show you the mower, we'll show you sunshine, right? 20 months old now, by the way, 20 months old. But check this out. Here it goes. So we were going to spend $8.99 and get the steel deck. But for a couple bucks more, I said, you know what? This is a dual battery. And it comes with a 12 amp hour battery instead of an 8 amp hour. So that's what I decided to do. Your baggers here, you put that together. The mower comes, assembled. The handle's folded down. No big deal there. You get your manuals. You get a plate you can use to hang the charger on a wall, by the way. That's kind of nice. I guess the charger just clips into this. Let's look at the charger real quick. That's a big charger. So 58 volt system. You got two lights there. Looks like it's got maybe some fans built in for, so that's going to help for ventilation while charging the battery. But if we look at the bottom, we could see that here are the areas that clip into there. So that's nice. And then this must be the battery. Oh God, that's pretty heavy. Okay. Oh my God. Wow. So 12 amp hour. It is larger than the 8 amp hour, of course. Look at that. 12 amp hour. 58 volt max system. Now, I did see that you have ventilation in the back. Ventilation in the front. You also have a battery meter. Let's press. So we have 50% charge. That's nice. It's got a nice feel to it. It feels like quality, Feels like quality. So there you go. That is one big battery. I guess they made it so you could put your hand on it to slide it in and out. We'll have to do that at some point. But let's take some time and look at that. Let's go ahead and do some close looks. We're going to start off in the battery compartment. So first off, 12 amp hour battery, 604 watt hour, just so you'll know. A good look at the connectors there on the bottom of the battery. And we did take a look. We've got ventilation in on both sides, along with the charger, which is nice. Again, we've got a 50% charge. So I think this goes in this way. Let's open up this guy and first take a look at the two slots. Now, one thing I notice, aerodynamic, and definitely have some magnets holding this down. Now, it doesn't stay up on its own. That's one of the things I like, right? But you could see in here that you've got your two bays for your batteries. They are both live bays, so there's no dummy bay, by the way. Now, let me take a look here. I just want to see if this is a key that comes out. Okay, so I was just checking this, and this is actually a button that pushes the battery out. So when you use this, it'll actually eject the battery. It'll go down, as you can see. And this is just a spring-loaded piece back here that will just allow the battery to lock in place, which is nice. Now, let me try this. Again, never put it in. I believe battery gauge goes in the front. Doesn't matter what side you put the battery. We're going to take this and lock it in. Not bad. With a camera, not bad. Push this button down, and it looks like you might have to grab this thing. Hold on. Okay, yeah. So, you know, you're going to need to pull the battery out. All right, but lock it in. That's going to release it for you. It isn't going anywhere. And it can hold two 12 amp hour batteries. This also supports the 8 amp hour battery, to my knowledge. You got to hold this open, but aerodynamic, you'll be able to do that 60 miles an hour like you would want. Now, one thing that's really nice about the batteries is while you're mowing, you can actually see your battery level. Let me take this off the holder, and as you can see here, there are two fuel gauges back here. Now this will light up, and I'll show you it later, but it's going to light up and it'll actually show you how many bars your battery has. So that's pretty cool. While you're up here, you can see that, which is nice. So let's take a moment and go over controls. Now let me first tell you that this is not belt driven. It's electric driven. We'll talk more about that, but they don't use a belt on this model. This is the top of the line consumer model, and then you go into commercial. But these are your self-propel, so you know, whatever you're comfortable with, first of all. As you can see here, this is going to be your blade engagement, so it is separate. If you want to push this up a hill, you can do it using self-propel. You don't have to engage your blades. But as you can see here, number 1 and number 2, if you were going to start your blades. Now, this is, as you can see, the battery's inside, but nothing's happening. That's because, first of all, these are nice rubber buttons. I can tell you now, this really nice. Again, a lot of quality went into this, you can tell. Now, if I press this, nothing's going to happen. It won't turn on. But I want you to watch down there. I want you to watch where my finger is, okay? If I hold this button, the mower is now on, and you can see I have 2 bars. You know, so while I'm mowing, I can clearly see how much battery I have in at least the right slot, because there's 1 battery there. Now, self-propel is off. If I press it once, it's on. So now this has 8 settings. So this is setting 1. Setting 2 will be brighter. Setting 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now, I don't know the self-propel speeds yet. I will get those, hopefully, for later in the video, as long as they're available. This is brand new, and, you know, I ran and got it. Okay, but if I press this once and leave it on the lowest setting, I do need to pull the bar back in order to do self-propel. This is the slowest setting right now. Now, if I want the blades to engage, I just need to hit this button. As you can see, number 1, number 2. So if I hold this and this, so pretty nice. And that's just a quick look at what we're dealing with up here. Another thing you want to look at is the clip director. So as you can see here, you can mulch or you can bag, right? And you have all these in-between settings. I do one or the other. I realized, you know, I just do one or the other. And, you know, I've got my camera on, so let me just see something real quick here, okay? But if I just take my hand, yeah, this kind of moves nice. It locks up in the slots. So I am now mulching, And I am now bagging from the diagram there, which is nice. Or you can do something in the middle. But I pretty much, mulch most of the time. So I'm going to leave that there. Now, again, you can mulch, you can bag, you can do a little in the middle. And guess what? If you wanted to do a rear side discharge, let me show you how that works. Now, when you want to do a rear side discharge, I want you to look at this for a minute. So if you're a Honda owner, you probably already know this, but you just take your bag off, right? You open this up all the way. So you're actually, kind of bagging, but you're really not bagging, right? And you could see here that there's no opening on this side. So there's an opening on the bottom. And this is actually made to shoot the grass from this little corner here on the left side. So it should come out through here. I've not used it yet, but just wanted to let you know you could do a rear side discharge. Now if we look at the wheels, by the way, let me take the camera off. These are 9-inch wheels, ball bearing wheels, and they're rubber. They are thick rubber wheels. Okay. But just know that. So you've got 9-inch wheels in the front and the back. Now, you have 7 settings. Again, I don't have them right now. I'll go over that in specs. But, you are right now on the highest setting. And by the way, this bar raises and lowers the back. That one raises and lowers the front. So we can go up or down, as you can see. So if I take this one, and bring it all the way to the lowest setting. I just want to make sure I'm not dropping the mower. Okay, there it goes. So now we're pretty darn low, to be honest with you. I mean, that's pretty low. But yeah, ball bearing wheels, both 9-inch. Again, your settings are in the front here and in the back. As far as handle height adjustment, you turn this knob on both sides, it pulls out the pin. And you have 3 settings, right? So if you're a tall person, you're obviously going to put it on the bottom. And if you're a shorter person, you're going to put it on the top or somewhere in the middle. But once you turn this, it'll lock in, and then you'll lock it in on the other side. Now, while this is shiny new, let's go ahead and take the battery out, and we'll take a good look at under the deck to see what we're working with. So again, just push this down. Close this. Let's flip this now. One thing we want to be careful with is when you turn a mower on its side, be careful that the gas and the oil doesn't leak out, because that can be a really big problem. Kidding. Battery mower. But look at the quality. Let's look at the quality. So I'm going to start off on the wheels, because you can really see, I'll tell you, the way this thing's so open. Look at the nook and the crannies, just really making the wheel, reinforcing the wheel. So really good job. Look at the steel, by the way. Look at the steel. So I love it. Love the workmanship. They don't play around. And I don't see a belt. There's no belt. Hold on a minute. There's no belt. Well, that's the reason why it's an electric mower that doesn't have a belt. We'll talk more about that when we cover specs. Now, as you can see here, as these two tight blades cut, they're going to mulch. Now, this is closed, and then you do have kind of a spot where things can get caught up. So that's kind of interesting. I mean, I don't think this is their first with this. This deck's been around for a while, but now we are electric instead of gas. But a good look at the bottom here. And then there is your rear motor. And you can see your cables, so you can see all that. Looking in there. All right, your axle. I'll tell you, you can really see everything when it comes to this mower. By the way, this mower also has lights. It's got, what, 4 LED lights in the front there. So that can help you if you're doing some night mowing. I don't think drastically, but you do have some lights in the front. So I am charging the battery right here in the backyard, and it's, you know, showing it's charging the second bar. Pretty quiet. I honestly don't hear anything. So I guess it's a slow charger, but I don't know. We'll see how it turns out, but it is a big charger. By the way, I did use this battery. Right now it's charging the 1 bar, but I got to tell you, it takes 6 hours to charge a battery from 0 unless you get the rapid charger coming out. So it takes 6 hours to charge this battery on this charger. Now it is almost Thanksgiving. Seriously, we are a couple of days away, just so you'll know, seriously. So I've got some leaves on this side of the lawn. I put this on setting number 3 on the front and on the back. I will put what that is in inches. I'm dealing with, honestly, about 5 inches in grass, about that. So it's going to cut some. We are bagging. I'm going to bag. I want to see how it sucks up, first of all, real quick. But after that, I want to walk over to this side of the lawn, because this is mostly clean. I want you to see what we're dealing with right now. So it is mostly clean, but again, it's about, I would say, 5 inches of grass around there. It's not that bad. This is torn up. This is torn up. So I don't know what I'm going to do in the spring, but I want to show you what it looks like, and then we will obviously do a couple of passes here to see what we can do with this. Yeah, really bad lawn, but you know, the camera will be on. I'm going to have some shakeage, but I just want to show you a little bit of cutting. So to turn it on, you have to hold this button, and then you'll see the lights light up on the battery back there. Now I've got about a bar and a half right now battery on the 12 amp hour battery. So I'm going to hold this down. You'll see that turn on, and it shows 2 bars. It's really a bar and a half. I'll zoom in. All right, but I can see that with no problem. So we're going to pull out as much as we can. Now the mower is on, and self-propel is currently off. Now you have to raise it. As you can see, there's a couple of settings. One, you know, so if there's 8 settings actually, even though there's 4 bars. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now I'm going to just leave this on a low setting for now. I'm going to use a little self-propel. All right, and we're going to go ahead and hit this button, pull in, and we're going to see what this looks like. For a second, and then we'll walk it back and just take a look at that section. Now that's kind of dug in there, but it did actually get, if you could see, the majority, right? It does a good job with suction. And let me do this section here real quick, just so you could see, and then I'm gonna obviously mow the grass there. But 1, 2. I'm going to turn off self-propel. I mean, really good job in the fall. To use your mower. I mean, look at that already. Let's get this. suction. Guys, that's not bad. I didn't even pull this all the way down, right? It's on a 3 in the front and the back. I mean, look at that. That's really not bad. It's, again, I could pull this all the way down, but then I'm going to be cutting grass also. So I've got some junk in here already. You can see I've got some junk in here already. So let's go ahead and cut grass now and see what it looks like. I always start off in this little corner. So I stopped for a minute. And what's left is this part. That's what's left. All right. So what I'm going to do, honestly, is I'm going to bring it down a little more. And then we'll take a look at what we're dealing with here. Okay, I'm down to 2.5 now. So again, I'll put the inches on the screen, but I'm on 2.5 on the settings. So what's 2.5 in inches right there on the screen? I'm 1 bar on the battery, so I should be able to do that with a 12 amp hour battery. It should be 1 bar. Maybe it's less, you don't know. All right, but let me hit this. Okay, I'm going to stop for a minute because I can definitely see, obviously, you know, I remowed this section here. So you could see this is the higher side that hasn't been done yet. And this is the lower side that's been done. Man, I'll tell you, not only do I see stripes, but, you know, really nice cut. And I'll tell you, if you're listening, check this out. I don't get any of that pullback on the self-propel motor. You know, That's the one thing I don't like about the Ego. As much as I love Egos, that engagement of the motor, even on the new models. So that's painful. But let me finish this up and we'll take a look again. Wow. That's a nice cut considering the time of the year. Forget about how bad the lawn looks. It did do a good job of sucking up for the most part. It did a really good job of sucking up, as you can see. I mean, lawn's gonna grow back next year pretty nice, but I gotta tell you, besides some striping, it did a nice job. It looks nice. Wow. So I'm pretty happy. Again, this is a test, right? It's not me using it for weeks and months. Obviously, we did suck up a lot of grass, so you know we're gonna have some stuff to throw out. Obviously, did a really good job, but you know, I hope this review it does help you for now, and more to come in the spring and the summer for sure. Let me go ahead and give you model number and pricing and specs. So this is known as an HRX-BE. So when you look on the website, you'll see that. Now this is right before the commercial model. So this is the top of the line consumer model. Now this is a 21-inch mower. It's $1,299 with a 12 amp hour battery. This is a 4-in-1 Versamo system with clip directors. So you can mulch, you can bag, rear discharge, and leaf shred. Now this is a 58 volt max system. All right, the max battery capacity on this is 24 amp hours. So that's two 12 amp hour batteries. You've got dual battery slots. Of course, that makes sense. Now the estimated runtime is 45 minutes with one 12 amp hour battery. And if you have two, it's an hour and a half. This is an estimate. Battery charge time with the 2 amp hour charger that's included is 6 hours, folks. Now they're coming out with a rapid charger, and they say it'll take an hour to charge the battery. I don't know if it's the 12 amp hour battery, but it says an hour. Now this has a cooling system that forces air into some ports on the mower. This has the Honda E-Select drive system. All right, the transmission type is a variable speed electric motor, and it is brushless. This is rear wheel drive, and the maximum blade speed is 2,900 RPM. Now this has a roto stop blade brake system. So I believe this is not included in the two previous models. It says to transport the mower without engaging the blades. Now the deck material is Nexite. The cutting system is a micro cut twin blade system. You saw that in the video. Cutting width is 20.9 inches. They advertise it as a 21-inch mower. Cutting heights, you have 7 settings from 3 1/4 to 4 inches. So setting number 1 is 3 1/4. Setting number 1.5 is 1 1/4. Setting number 2 is 1 3/4 inches. 2.5 is 2 1/2 inches. 3 is 3 inches. 3.5 is 3 1/2 inches. And 4 is 4 inches. And self-propel can go from 0 to 4 miles an hour. It doesn't really say what the slowest speed is. The bushel capacity on the bag is 2.2 bushels. Handle height adjustments, you've got 3. I showed that in the video. The sound level is as high as 93 dB, and this weighs 91 pounds without the battery. You also get a 5-year warranty on this specific model, as long as you're using it for residential use. If you use it for commercial use, it's only 90 days. And this is made in Mexico. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for watching our video. I sure hope you found it helpful. And if you did, give us a thumbs up. We'd appreciate that. I'm going to go ahead and put our social media up on top if you want to follow us. And you'll be able to subscribe to our channel by clicking this round Tech Made Easy logo. Guys, thank you so much and have a wonderful day.